Everyone is welcome here, it's time to make new friends. Aquavide Uskava, fill your Glencairn. Share a dram with the spirit of Edmonton. Slancha!
Slancha, and good evening, whiskey brothers, sisters, friends, and welcome to episode 90 of the Canadian Whisky Journey's Whiskey Review. I'm Dolph. I'm the creator of the Canadian Whisky Journey, the spirit of Edmonton on social media, and most importantly, your host tonight. Now, I'm glad to be reviewing this bottle right here. It's called Burns Bog, and it's by the Odd Society. Well, I call them Odd Society Spirits, but it's Odd Society makers of fine spirits. I always want to say purveyors, but it's not purveyors. It's makers of fine spirits. Now, I contacted Gordon Glantz. He's the part owner with his wife Miriam, lovely people, of this. He's also the master distiller, and he's allowed to be called a master distiller. Want to know why? Because he's got his Masters of Distilling from Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh. He is a master distiller and deserves the title. So what I did, I contacted Gordon prior to going to the Drams for Femmes Whiskey Gala event here last Saturday in Edmonton. And we do this because the Whiskey Gala goes to, there's 8 whiskeys presented at this gala. Great whiskeys. And then afterwards, for the next 4 hours, you have music and you have people and you're enjoying each other's company. What you do is you bring something unique with you. Maybe one bottle. I brought 2 bottles. I brought one from Sons of Vancouver as well, but I brought this. And I wanted to be able to tell people why it was so unique and neat and why they should be looking for it. Because I want people to try really unique Canadian whiskeys. Now, what I told them is what I'm going to tell you right now. Jordan was trying to get some Canadian peat from this bog, from the Burns Bog, for quite a long time. Now, the Burns Bog is in the Delta just south of Vancouver, and apparently everyone around Vancouver knows about this Burns Bog because they go at school. So they visit it from school. It's part of the curriculum in science, and they all know about the bog, and he's known about it forever. And he's always wanted to get his hands on some of the peat so he can smoke his own peat. And then finally, 2 fortuitous events happened, which enabled him to do what he's wanted to do for a long time. So one was he had a customer friend of his who donated his samples of the peat that he obtained as part of his doctoral research. So done with the research, gives it to Gordon. The second way he got it is he was in contact with the Burns Bog Conservation Society, who got him some when they built the road in the Burns Bog. So they excavated some of the peat. He's got peat from 2 sources now. Now, what's he do with it? So he sends his peat to his maltster, and the maltster malts the peat, smoking the peat, infusing the barley with this peat, sends it back to Gordon. And what's Gordon do? He distills this lovely elixir. He distills 1,600 liters. He's got 8 barrels. Now this is, you can see right here, batch 1. And batch 1 is 1.5 barrels. So approximately 300 liters was used, which means he's got roughly 1,300 liters left to distribute in the future. But what I'm hoping is that he's not going to do it right away. I'm hoping he waits 18 months, does another 3. 18 months, does another 3. I want him to spread this out as much as he can, because maybe he doesn't get any more of this ever. And 2, because Canadian peat it's hard to find. You don't. Now, certain people, so these guys peated some. So they used Saskatchewan peat in their peat. This guy right here, he's thinking about using his own peat as well. And he's got lovely peated expression now, but it's not his. It's not Alberta peat yet. I'm waiting for the Alberta peat. But this is Vancouver, south of Vancouver peat. The Delta peat. What's really interesting is we have no idea what this is going to taste like. He had no idea what this would taste like in the first place. He didn't know if it would be good or not. He didn't know or it still doesn't know how it's going to progress in the future. So what I'm going to do with this, and we took a healthy chunk out of this at the gala. I'm probably going to take most of that, probably 8 ounces, and put it in a jar and keep it until the next one comes out. And I'm going to save 8 from that. And hopefully over time, and like I said, hopefully it's like 18 months, 18 months, 18 months. So 4.5 years from now, I've got 4 samples that I can try side by side to see how Canadian peat from Burns Bog, from the Delta, tastes and develops over time. If you're a collector, and it's okay to be a collector, people poo-poo on that, but if you want to, it's batch number 1. It's the first one that's come out that he's done. It'd be neat to have that. Not collecting dust, but bring it to him. He'll sign it for you, put it up on the shelf. This is the first Canadian peat I owned. Well, not for me, but for some. Be good to have. Now, batch number 1. It's non-chill filter, no color added. I'd rather it was cast strength, but I can't get it all my way. It's 46%, so it's respectable. And what he did, it's 4-year-old, but it was put in half barrels, so 30-gallon barrels. Once he used his Prospector rye. So the Prospector rye goes into brand new oak from the States. Puts Prospector rye in that. Once he's used the Prospector rye, once he uses it for single malt, all his single malt, like the Commodore, but that's what this one did too. What's most interesting about all this is the way that he infuses the peat. Now, it's important because in BC, to get some certain tax breaks for these guys, they have to use 100% BC product. So he has to source it all in BC. So how does he do that when this stuff was peated in the States? Wow. And this is really cool. And this is where his education from Watt University comes in. So I don't know of anyone else anywhere that does this. But he puts his smoked barley in a gin basket. So he's distilling his regular barley. So he's distilling barley, and the vapors go up, infuse into the gin basket the essential oils from this peat, mixing with those vapors, down into the condenser, and then voila, we've got peated whiskey, or new make, sorry. He's got peated new make coming out. So that's really cool. So he does that, and he respects the 100% BC product rule. Doesn't bend, though. Well, he bends in the rail a little bit, but because he's smart and knows how to do this. But I never heard of anyone doing that before, so that's really quite cool. Well, anyways, enough talking about that. I'm a Gordon Glanz fanboy, and he does some fantastic stuff, and you've seen many of them before. And you've seen one of these. If you follow me, you've seen what I thought of this one, and now we're going to see what I think of this Canadian peat. All right. So on the nose, and this is one of the reasons why I'm really hoping he holds off for about 18 months. It smells young. It really does. So it starts with 2 scents that I like a lot. So the match stick and kind of the rubber that's on the bottom of the old shoes that, if you're anywhere near my age, we were told never to wear in the gym because it marks the floor. But that rubber had a distinct smell. And the matchstick. And that's the first one on here. And I find it really pleasant. But there's a youngness to it that I know is going to change. Well, I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure is going to be changing over time. And when that mellows, this other freshness, I think we're going to get a little bit sweeter on the nose, I think. I'm hoping. But anyways, that's it. Yeah, and malty. So it's malty, a little bit of sulfur matchstick, a little bit of rubber on the nose. If you're a peat head like me, these are not bad things. It's good. Palate. So great mouthfeel. So that's always my first thing. So I just did that for the mouthfeel. It's oily, not quite creamy, but feels nice. Coats really well. you get the sweet, you get the vanilla. I guess still the remnants from the previous barrel when it was in the rye barrel. You get a little bit of that rye heat that you would have gotten in the Prospector rye back of the throat. But that's talking about the finish. Let's stick with the palate. The smoke on the exhale. Your initial sip, no smoke. As soon as you exhale after the sip, that's when the smoke comes out. Yeah. And what else I think will happen with age is the nose will match the palate better because they're a little bit different. For me, the nose is closer to an Isla nose, whereas the palate is more heathery, more of a Highland Park, more of a Highlands peat on the palate. And I think these two will come more into conjunction. They'll kind of match each other more the longer this sits in this barrels. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for rye flavors, but not huge. Not huge rye flavors in there. It's got the heat at the very back, and it's got a little bit of the flowery, because, the Prospector rye is, like Sans Vancouver in some ways, and it's not the typical Canadian rye. It's more flowery. It's got sweeter tinges to it. Pleasant, really good. Okay, finish. It is sweet for a microsecond, and then it turns to smoke, and that's because of when the smoke hits you. It's sweet on the palate. As soon as you swallow, though, you exhale and the air comes in, and that's when the smoke comes out. So, but then it stays smoke, and that doesn't change. So it's a short finish, which will also change over time. Yeah, it stays sweet till you exhale, then all smoke. That's it. All right. What you should do is get yourself to their distillery if you can. Talk to Gordon because he's lovely, and he'll talk your ear off if you want to talk whiskey. So if he knows you're a little bit of a whiskey geek and you're inquisitive and you want to spend time, he'll talk to you and he'll sign a bottle and get this batch one. Get some of that and sign that up. If you don't have the time or the money or whichever to make it to East Vancouver, go to their website. So Odd Society. I think I always put Odd Society Spirits, although that's not exactly what they're called. I do my search, and you get it for $80 online. That's what you should do. So, thank you all. It was a fantastic night. What's happening next week is this one right here, and this was a pleasant surprise for a Canadian tasting that I did just recently. So, Baldur's, and I'm guessing a lot of you haven't heard about this, and I'm thinking you will sometime soon. So, cheers, everybody. Sláinte. Have a fantastic night. See you next Tuesday.